Yeah, actually, so it doesn't need to go in far enough to have anything to do with the threads, but it needs to go in far enough so that when you screw the barrel nut on, the internal threads of the barrel nut don't hit it. So I'm just kind of figuring this out as I go. So the internal threads of the barrel nut, if that's not in far enough, that pin, these threads will hit it and this won't screw on. Okay. I don't know, maybe it could go a little bit more. You know what? There was a high spot before. It was catching once each revolution. Now it's not catching at all. Boom. Awesome. Alright, so the barrel extension is permanently installed due to the torque and the Loctite. That pin is banged into place. The gas port is lined up with that pin, both on the very top. Now let's pin this gas tube in place into the gas block, and let's put it on here. Obviously it needs to be straight up on top as well, and that way that gas tube can come straight back, and also you have good alignment on the two holes here. So those are the key points. These holes need to be lined up and with the gas tube coming straight back, because the key in the bolt carrier group needs to slide over this. So if the gas tube is cocked, you might have a problem with that. And among other ways, one thing you can look at for proper alignment is to just look up into the upper receiver from beneath, and if that tube is cocked, it would be very clear here. And I'm also going to throw my bolt carrier in there and make sure the key slides right over that. So I've got a 5/64 roll pin punch here. And this is tricky to get this thing started straight. There we go. Yeah, it wasn't in far enough. Let's tap it a little more. There we go. There we go. It's lined up. Dumb. It's going. Alright, I tightened this down just a little bit, just so the barrel wouldn't... I put the barrel nut on and tightened it a little bit. So when I'm trying to... What I was wondering is if I put the bolt carrier on and slam it forward, if the gas key... If the gas tube will bottom out on the gas key, and the gas key will shove the tube and the gas block forward, that would mean that I didn't have this alignment correct. This was too far back, and probably I would trim the back of the gas tube. I don't know if that's ever an issue, but it's just something I'm thinking about here. So I feel like I've got this centered pretty well here. If I look inside, that looks centered. So let's put this in, and I'm just going to push on the gas block here, just to try to hold it flush against that shoulder. Boom. That's all the way forward. The bolt hit the breech of the barrel and rotated, and this stayed flush. That tells me the gas key on the bolt carrier is not bumping into the gas block. So I'm happy with that alignment. let us I'm going to keep pushing on it this direction, and let's snug up these set screws. Alright, don't need to overdo it. So you can see that alignment looks good. The key slides over it smoothly. So I believe I have this nice and centered, lined up really nicely. Alright, so let's put the ejection port door on. You got the door, and there's a pin and a spring in here, and that comes assembled. I don't know if you can get it any other way. And then we got the pivot pin, and that has a C-clip on the end that holds it from continuing out the rear because you install it from the front, and then the spring that holds this door open after it pops open. Now you'll see maybe here, if I start to put this in, it binds because the barrel nut is in the way. Alright, barrel nut's out of the way. So this shaft slides in from the front, and the C-clip stops it right there. And then when you screw the barrel nut on, the shoulder of the nut stops right here and keeps this from sliding back out the front. That's what holds that shaft in place. So just got to spin this short leg on this spring around, hold it in place, slide that all the way through, and I think I let go of it. Let's move this so you can see what I'm doing. Grab this short foot, spin it that way, shove that through. There. And the short leg goes on this side. The long one fits into this groove. The short one goes on this side so it doesn't intrude on the ejection port. Voila. Oh, that's right. It's going in the right direction. I thought it was going in at an angle. Yeah, it goes straight through like this. In that side, out that side, right there. Yeah, now that's not coming out, so I don't need to worry about fiddling with that while I hold the roll pin punch. Don't even see it there yet, so I got plenty of distance to go still. Alright, I'm below the surface there. Still can't even see it there, so let's go a little farther. Yeah, that's well below the surface there. I think I'm going to leave well enough alone. So I'm just going to hold the bolt carrier. Alright, that works just fine. Alrighty, let us get the barrel on there and get it torqued. Alright, I'm going to start out by putting a little bit of grease on the front here, where the well, actually I want some on the front of the receiver there, some in the threads, so there's no galling when I crank down. And also where the barrel nut is going to press against the barrel extension there. Yeah, I don't need to get it all the way around because the nut screwing on there will spread it. Let me So what I need to do is turn this far enough so that we get alignment here. Yeah, and it's not going to line up yet. There. Yeah, it's not lined up yet. Oh, there. It moved just a notch. Just a bit. And it's pretty tight. That might be it. Boy, just so close, but not quite. Actually, what I can do, rotate that to get a better leverage. Okay, it moved just a hair. I hope it's not too much. But I can always back it off, I guess. Oh yeah, look at that. So there's a tiny bit of wiggle room. You just need to get it within the right range. Let's get the pivot pin, that guy, installed. Put the spring in, put a plunger in for this detent. Let's just push the plunger down with this guy and then push it in. Actually, that could not have been easier, to be honest. Couldn't have been easier. Alrighty. This is a cross machine tool receiver set, by the way. There's a hex head screw for this ambidextrous mag release that comes built in, and that came installed. So, and this, I've just got a generic mag release and generic bolt catch that I got from the local gun store. I'm sure it's made by some company that makes a billion of these and sells them to a bunch of different companies that they rebrand. This is not threading in there. There. Did that catch? Yep, that caught. See if I can get this tightened enough. This stuff seems like it sticks out quite a lot. Yeah, I think I'll be able to do it here. Maybe one more turn. No, that was too many. I could feel it hitting this. So, too many. Unscrew it, unscrew it. One turn. So that's ambidextrous, got that. Got that. Probably should have gotten a ambidextrous mag release since this is ambidextrous, but doesn't matter too much right now. Actually, I'm not sure I'd ever use it anyway. Here's the bolt catch and the spring and the plunger that push it out. And this is the pin that's threaded that's part of this cross machine tool receiver. Much easier than hammering a roll pin in there. Very easy, just like that. And then you just tighten this thing down. Let's see. I might, after I paint it, I might disassemble it and put Loctite in here, for example. We'll see. All right. Alright, this is a Wilson trigger, and I'm probably, I don't know, may or may not leave this in here. I like the jarred adjustable trigger quite a lot. So I may switch to the jarred. Let's see here. Yeah, this sucks. Huh. I don't know why it was easier from this side, so that's cool. Alright, I've determined that it's easier to get the safety in without the trigger pins in, because the rear of the trigger sticks up into that hole where the selector goes for the safety. So it's pretty easy to drop that in when the trigger's not pinned in place. Now there. There, it won't fire. Will fire. Oh, you know what? With the hammer up, that would have, it would go right in. All right. Learned something new. I'd probably heard that before, seen it, but nothing like experiencing it. Alrighty. Let's put this plunger in there, And this spring, actually, let's throw the spring in here. Oopsie daisy. All right. Okay, that was stiff. Okay, won't fire, will fire. Okay. Alrighty. You gotta be careful not to bend this spring here. It's for the detent, for the takedown pin. And it's pretty difficult to get it in there straight. There it is. Alright, so this is my Law Tactical folding stock attachment. I guess you slide this is for a sling, slide it on there and spin the whole thing on there. Alright, put that in there. Let's see. I need another plunger and a spring, which will drop right in there. These will hold the buffer in place. There we go. Alright, so I've screwed the receiver extension in far enough so that it just hooks over the edge of that plunger. So then that won't pop out. Alrighty. And got my tool here to tighten this nut, among other things. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a new gizmo that I got. Which is this gizmo for the lower. I can clamp this in a vise and then I can torque on this thing. So this is just a nice way to hold it while I work on it. Let's try that. Alright, so this just slips over the receiver extension and these three tabs engage these notches in the nut there. So what I want to do, I'm going to use this sling attachment just to make sure that stays lined up. Yeah, that's not moving at all, which means the buttstock is staying lined up with the rifle. All right. Oops. I didn't have this rotated the right direction, so the plunger wasn't in this groove. Let's see if I can fix that without disassembling this whole thing. I should be able to. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Alrighty. How can I do that? Alrighty. Alrighty, so I've got a punch that fits in here. Got a razor blade. Let me try to get this plunger out of the way and shove that plunger out of the way, it's not shoving. Alright, there it's shaving. There it's shoving. I think it was cocked at an angle because it was almost completely out of the hole. So I just had to push it so it was lined up with the hole. Then I could move it with the razor blade since it wasn't binding. There, now I got this punch in there. Now let's shove the pin in there with the groove straight back. Awesome. Piece o' cake. Huh. Oh. Something. See, look at this. Look at that. I put this extra space here, and the buffer is still way back here. So, there's another attachment, which I omitted. So the buffer is right back here, but the bolt carrier is way up there. So there's this spacer, which came with this thing, which you shove in there, and that's what, 1.5 inches long, which was going to make up the thickness of this. And it just, there's some rubber gaskets there to hold it snug, and it just shoves into the rear of the bolt carrier. Alright. One more thing. Yeah, I might want to get the smaller one of these. I think I will get the smaller one. I like the idea of having something here, especially because you're so close to a hot barrel. well, the muzzle or the heat of a suppressor or whatever. But this is just too big. I'd like something smaller, I think. Alright, good enough for now. There's a problem. If I fold the stock, I've got this sling mount, which comes around and bangs into this hinge. So I can flip this around and put it over here, but that's really the only thing I can do if I want to keep it on here. So I'll do that. I'll take it off or I'll flip it around. We'll see. Then I guess I would need something up here to mount the front of the sling to, if I decide to keep this on here. Unless I want, I guess you can just mount a sling to one spot. So, we'll see.